Hello, welcome to another episode of Unlock Your Soul Magic with Nikki Joshi, where I take you on my journey from strategy consultant to soul healer. Today, I am going to make some predictions. I don't usually lean into this, and I am wary because it can be an anchoring. Like we're human, we get biased, we have biases. They feel like energetic anchors in some ways that helped us, like some of these biases have kept us safe for millennia across generations. And we like to make sense of the world. We like to know what's going to happen. It gives us a sense of control. So, my intention with sharing these predictions are, I think, to help you as an intuitive being, perhaps a practitioner, or if you enjoy working with your intuition in some way. This is intended to be entertainment, playful. That said, I recognize emotions can run high when it comes to things like the US elections. And so I am cognizant of if this brings up um, heavy feelings for you, feels intense for you to consider or listen to in some way, brings up the recognition that this can be so divisive for us. You don't have to listen and lean into it. But my intention is one, to, well, really to listen to my guides and put this podcast across because that's what they nudged me to do. And two, for me to find more meaning and purpose in it beyond, okay, will I be right or wrong? It's just like if you pull, um, like when you gamble and, oh, will I get the winning number, or a lottery ticket even, will I have the winning set of numbers? It's like there's a game of luck and chance in there, but there's also a practice of tuning into the energy and what's the energy that's present. So my second intention for this is to also share how it can feel like to feel into probabilities and feel into something that's very destined versus something that's more, the energy could shift because the energy can always shift. I do predict at times if that's the message that the guides, as I call my higher power, wish to give to a client, to someone. Um, but that's not my primary focus. My primary focus is to make sure that you are receiving something that creates an emotional shift, a transformation in how you're viewing your current state of being and an experience you're moving through, probably some kind of big change or shift, which is what we're feeling collectively. So, with that preamble, I would like to get into more of what I've predicted till date and then what I am getting as of today. Today is election day, the day I'm recording this. I will see if I'm able to publish it the same day as well. Um, I started to channel around this sometime in the month of July. I have actually some of my notes that I have pulled up. This was back in July, end of July, July 26th. And I think I saw something in passing on TikTok where an intuitive or psychic had started to talk something about the energy of the election and things might be different. And I didn't really listen to all of the message or may have listened to some part of it, but it made me wonder like, oh, would something happen around the election time that might skew the results? And so I decided to sit with that question myself when I'm trying to channel. What tends to happen for me is I'll go in, I'll connect either to the Akashic records or just channeling more open endedly, and I'll see what looks like a blank canvas or like empty space, and then a visual might drop in. It's as if I'm seeing a dream, and I'll see what's coming up for me. And then I have to make sense of the image. So I ask for the words from my guides to describe it, or I get a knowing or a feeling. So this is me describing how I typically intuit information, but it can come in many, many different ways. We all can experience variability in our the way we receive. Um, some of us see it as, repeating numbers and signs. Some of us like to connect through oracle cards and pendulums. Some of us like to connect through our third eye in terms of seeing or hearing or um, just has a sense of knowing, like it's a thought, but it's a thought that ends up really being connected to reality and probabilities. So, with all of that said, I enjoy channeling specific data points by asking yes nos in my body. So, by framing a question and checking if I'm getting a yes or a no. And to me, that's always a sensation in my heart space to my higher heart. And I did ask a few questions and I asked, and I can feel like, yeah, do I talk about this? I'm asking my guides even right now, do I talk about like specifically what I got? And I got, um, will um, Kamala Harris win? And will she be president? And I got a big yes. What I mean by that is the sensation that I usually get for a yes was super strong, like off the charts strong. And so it felt like a very, to me, a high probability. And I'm asking my guides right now, real time, and they're saying, yes, like that is an indicator of how likely it is. Like, and they're saying you can set that decision, that algorithm of how to channel with them as well, is what they're saying. You can say, hey, I would like to be able to discern how high of a probability this is going to be in my life or come into existence. And they can indicate it through the intensity. They can maybe show it through a different sensation, like hearing them say, we can tap your hand, we can do something else that feels like a yes and a strong yes or a high probability yes. They're saying some things are set in stone. Some things are set in stone. For you have pre-decided. You have pre-decided that you wish to experience this. And I could see all these energy threads that are weaving in different ways and then they get super concentrated. Okay, but the energy is going to happen in this way. This is something that you've all agreed to. You've all agreed to. And at that time, I had asked some specific questions that made me believe that Trump would no longer exist. At some point in the month of October, I channeled specifically, and I say this with, I don't mean any ill will. I don't wish any harm. I wish to just say what information was coming through. And I had gotten that this would happen by the second week of October. And so I waited and watched, like, is there I would say that did not come in with as strong of a yes to me. It came with a yes. And I remember talking to my close friends about it as well. And they were getting a different read where it felt like, oh, something might happen on a legal front that will interrupt the election process. And so I felt into that probability later on. This I don't have as documented in my notes, but I'd recorded messages over time and had gotten that, oh, actually, that could happen. This could happen in the third week of October. Third week came by and went. I checked in, like, oh, it could happen in the fourth week of October. And I was like, that's surprising. Why does this keep shifting? And here we are, fourth week of October came and went. Nothing's happened. And that's okay. I'm again coming at this from this place of curiosity and exploration and trying to feel into what are the probabilities like. Um, and as I say all this, again, back to this is election day. And I remember yesterday feeling like, I wonder what happened. I wonder what anyone else is getting. So I went on TikTok, place of great research. And so I found a reader, channeler who had channeled that she was also getting Kamala Harris would win, which, by the way, throughout this whole, okay, something may happen with Trump, but I kept checking in on Kamala Harris's likelihood to win, and I kept getting a yes. And I was like, okay, I want to acknowledge that there could be bias again in the room around who would I want to win or not. So, with that acknowledgement, but also open to like we all have a right to vote for who we trust and believe in. And at the same time, I get to be human. This is me testing out my intuitive abilities, seeing how it all comes through to me, and I'm sharing it reasonably real time with you all as a way to help you on your journey to reconnect with your intuition and refine and develop your psychic abilities too. And so I came to this place of, all right, nothing's happening. And I went to TikTok and I heard this Chandler speak, and she talked about, oh, feeling into the probability that Kamala Harris will win, and that she was getting there could be some kind of medical related event with Trump and with Biden as well come closer to inauguration day. And I was like, oh, okay. And she also talked about how the energy had shifted and how things had changed, and she was getting it would happen before the election, but it ended up such that it could happen after the election day. So that's what I wanted to share is my personal experience. The experience I it was very helpful to have some validation from someone who is also seeing all the energy shift and change. As I'm here and I'm talking with my guides, I'm asking them, why is it that the energy kept shifting? I heard there's a lot of intention and intensity and power behind keeping Trump alive. I worry about making that statement because it can feel very, yeah, I don't want to be the conspiracy theorist, if you will. Um, and I'm starting to feel like I'm going in that direction by talking about this and intuiting something. And the guides are reassuring me, like, this is 3D reality stuff. You're not talking about aliens or weird unexplained happenings. You're just talking about a probability. This could be a guess. So that's helpful to hear from them. Mm, but I'm checking in now. All right. So it feels like there's a lot of, almost feels like Trump's energy helped him stay afloat, stay alive, stay capable through this time. It feels like a strength, and it feels like I feel I have respect. I'm like, oh, that's great. If somebody can carry that level of energy through to be well and active, even if there are energies kind of going in a different direction, if that makes sense. And so I'm asking the guides right now, real time, in front of you all as I'm recording this. What is the probability of Kamala Harris winning? Oh, I didn't mean to ask the question as a probability, but hey, I thought I'll get a yes in my body, and I said the word probability. I heard a 97%. Wow. You sure it's not any? Yeah, I'm hearing 97. Okay. I'm seeing 97, and I felt the yes when I asked it. So this is my way of triangulating data as well as I'm using my clairaudience. I'm clairvoyantly seeing the number, and I'm checking clairsentiently in my body as well. Um, okay, that feels like a strong probability. Will we know that today? We'll know it tomorrow. Okay, that, all right. I'm only so close to how the electoral college timing works around it all. Um, is Trump going to be alive through today to tomorrow? Okay. Um, is there any other event that is going to disrupt the election process before it's complete? I'm getting a no. Is that correct? Yes, I got it. And so will there be unrest and chaos or rioting or anything of that sort in a big way, in a significant way? I'm feeling no. I'm hearing like at some level the collective has accepted this result and it's at peace with it. The collective is ready for this shift, this new energy. It feels like this wave. I feel like a wave of energy coming through. Ooh, we are ready for this new wave. Like there's something significant. It actually felt like a blue wave, which is interesting because Kamala Harris is Democratic, which is a blue colored party. But to me, as I'm tuning into it, like it feels significant to see female leader in power is what I'm getting. And like the collective needs that. They need to see that because it's going to heal and break so many unwritten, unsaid, and written stories of who must be in power, who needs to be in power. Um, hmm, thank you. Well, I'm open to that. If it can be, will this be helpful and healing for our economy, for our people over here in the United States? I'm getting a yes. Um, I hear a lot of clapping and cheering, and I see Kamala Harris, so it feels like a good thing. Well, I'm checking in. Is there more on this that the guides wish to say or share? I'm getting a no. Okay. Yeah. And when I said no, I got a yes for that no. If that makes sense. Um, I just want to say that I am open to if you feel called to share. I also understand this is a divisive topic or a topic that not everyone will publicly wish to discuss. But if you feel called to share in the comments on my YouTube page, anything you might be receiving around it, if your experience has been different, or if this helped clarify your own channelings, own messages, own inner knowings in some way, I'm here to hear that. With that, I appreciate you for receiving this. I will decide. I think I'm sharing it, but if this feels like it's not being met with understanding and um, ability to see all points of view, then I may choose to remove it. I don't know yet. We will. I am human and I'd love to keep the option open for a boundary if that feels right for me. With that, good luck to us all on election day. I know that emotions can be running high, and I'm just going to take a moment now, invite you to practice with me to feel love in our heart for ourselves, for the candidates who have worked very hard, to all the people who have worked so hard on this process, this election. I can really feel that energy flowing through me as I said that, named that. It's a lot of energy that has built up towards being ready for this election. And I'm sending love to everyone for whatever may be the outcome, that they can receive it with peace and love in their heart. And I invite you to feel that peace and love in your heart as well. It's when we can accept all these parts of ourselves, however different, contrarian, unexpected they might be, is when we can find more harmony. Not to say that there won't be disagreements or a need for boundaries or other kinds of conflict. I don't expect nirvana to happen overnight, but I do wish to hold a dream that we can live in more harmony and greater understanding of each other, which comes from feeling that within ourselves. So, with that, thank you for receiving. Thank you for listening. This was also hard and vulnerable for me to share in some ways. I had to sit with the invitation from my guides and decide if this is something I wanted to record, but hey, it's done and complete. Thank you.